Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Yeah!
Alright, so we thought we were way closer to the end of the last one, but we have discussed this scene, and the idea of do choose or not to choose, instead of pausing, but between episodes. And what we've really come up with is that Corazon has been touched in public a lot.
Yes. And unfortunately, I think that would only progress, if not get worse to a degree that is already, like...
If Nadia's continuing trying to prove and show and display that we are in a relationship, there's going to be a lot of I'm going to keep touching.
I mean, and some people do physical displays of affection. It's not just that. But, like, we're talking about based on all of our other experiences with it, it just doesn't work. So...
For Corazon.
Yeah.
But also, Corazon is kind of an introvert, if you will.
Yes.
So being with the entire group
they
of the
love
family...
being in the center of attention, but fucking don't talk to them very much.
But do it over there.
Yeah,
Admire me from afar.
That's why I'm wearing interesting clothing.
Fear me from afar.
Yes, exactly. Because if I have to talk to you, I'll bite your face off.
So,
Alright.
since this has been put to Corazon and not anybody more important to the party...
Yes. Well, we're just going to get back. We should probably get back.
Of course, my love. But, Portia, I really do insist. Take the rest of the day off.
Thank you, milady.
You shouldn't really push back against your countess. Like, again, that suggests a very casual relationship in that way.
It really does, and I still... It's fine. I just... Perhaps you would like to get some lunch with me, now that you are free, Portia.
A snack. I shall take it.
I like that very much. Yes.
Have fun.
Winky Wonky.
Spicy.
Let's go get food. You mean me?
I'm convinced
Portia screams
that my sister's going to consume her. I hope it goes well.
Even though, honestly, you could make an argument that Portia is just crushing, and the older sister's like, you're interesting, I like your ideas, and I would like to speak to you, because we honestly don't know if there's any interest there.
Also, you're super crushing, and it's really kind of awkward. Let's take you away a little bit. Let's put some space.
It's okay, it's okay.
I just think it's really adorable being like, you're so cute. You're like a cream puff.
Well, and also going, if one of my siblings decided that you were interesting enough and worthy enough, basically, to take care of my youngest sister, I would actually like to get to know you. Also, you're now the new Chamberlain.
If the youngest sister considers you to be one of her only friends...
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think it's necessarily unreasonable. I imagine, though, the implication also could be, though, carried that, like, if she's willing to go out, that means that, like, she is interested.
Suggestion, but at the same time, I like the other points. I really do.
We say our goodbyes to the rest of her family and walk hand in hand. No, we don't. Back towards the palace.
And it's a really, really long walk.
4 hours later.
4 hours later.
Later that night.
After a long, long walk.
Hello, Castle. It's been a busy day. After we got back from our outing, it seemed like everyone in court had to talk to us.
Question. It just occurs to me that the castle is basically up on top of a hill, right?
It seems like
At the center of the city, kind of.
Yeah, topography-wise.
Right. So if that's the case, how would anyone ever lose their way heading towards it if it's like the highest point of the kingdom?
I have no clue.
Okay, that just occurred to me.
Because based on the way, that you're right about that, actually, kind of talking about that now. Because they did mention, so the way that the aqueducts worked, and also how even the stream, so it ran down from around the castle towards, basically, the town, which means, because it is actually deeply, deeply uncommon for rivers to run south to north.
Yeah.
So it's actually a characteristic that they talk about specifically of the Nile. The Nile is unusual because it runs from south to north. The most common rivers or streams or whatever else always run from north to south because orientation and also the way of
polarity of the world.
Yes.
Such.
So based on that, like, unless we're running with a very specifically weird situation here.
Additionally, like, the presentation of this, is that you don't see any city skyline in the background.
Right.
There's nothing going on behind us, not even the mountains.
Which sounds
Which we know are there, so you must be up really high.
But also sounds really strange from a defensive position. You know, because the thing is most of the time, so you had your castles. Most castles tended to be situated in the middle of their towns, or basically situated as a part of the main area. So we've talked about before how ancient, like, castles were actually a part of, basically, the market infrastructure. The concept that this castle is not included in anything is bizarre as hell.
This castle is behaving as a palace.
It is, which is actually strange because a lot of palaces were actually involved in that. That's, as far as I understand, actually Orientalism at its finest, because they were also involved in a lot of trade, a lot of activity.
The whole thing of going up and knocking on the castle gates is ridiculous. They were open during the days, period.
Yeah, that's
because you had all of your everything happening there.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a busy day. Court had to talk to us. We only just managed to slip away because Nadia wanted to leave, escaping to the fresh air outside the palace. So
we've been gone all day because it's nighttime now.
Yep. So we did do something, even though I'm guessing, like, were we in the morning, do you think, then?
I would imagine, since it's later that night and everything.
We should really go back
in the market.
No, so it did take 8 hours for us to walk back.
Maybe. Anyway, the thing is it was lunchtime then, so maybe 4 hours if it's the time of year where the sun goes down a little earlier.
Ooh, maybe.
Because this is definitely dusk.
Yeah.
At any rate, so the thing is we were out with our family, with the Empress, with all the other princesses and such, and then we and we're talking about all the things we've accomplished and all the duties we've done and all of the progress we've made and how she's really enjoying doing actual work and getting shit to do progress. Then we come back and all the people who work at the palace want to talk about getting shit done and doing the work, and she's like, we just need to get away from them, bye!
I mean, I added that in because that's the only reason, like, Corazone's not going to run away.
No, but we only just managed to slip away. So people wanted to talk to us, and the only thing we did was slip away from them.
Yep, I'm just saying that's why I put in, and therefore Nadia again wanted to put in for a premium scene that apparently we paid for.
Fresh towards wanted a break.
The sun is just setting, painting streaks of orange and pink across the canvas of the sky.
The pollution looks beautiful this time of day.
Okay, so, sorry guys, if you don't know, and we've mentioned this several times, and it's okay if you haven't caught it, but the reason why we have such lovely sunsets is because of the pollution we have.
The reason we have such colored sunsets.
Yes.
They can still be lovely in just yellow.
But I mean,
white.
like, the diverse range of colors is because of pollution.
Pollution.
There's fog and sewage and mud.
Yes.
Above, I can just see the stars on my note for the night. Friendly light greeting us. Nadia sighs and leans against the bridge's railing, looking at me fondly. Me, yes, we've come full circle.
Back to the bridge where we first kissed.
Or where we at least agreed to be partners. Because that's actually...
We agreed that in her bedroom, didn't we?
No,
it was
on the
posited
bridge.
in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And then agreed upon on the bridge.
Yeah.
Also, though, if this is the bridge at the front of the castle, walks into the castle, everyone wants to see us, walks right back out. We managed to slip away.
But also, based on the fact...
in, loop, back out.
I like this place, is so crazy. Anyway, it's fine. Looking at me fondly.
Do you remember that first night at the palace? Corazon?
That first night. The night on the bridge. Aha!
Yes.
You had a nightmare, and we went for a walk. Nadia smiles and nods.
Yes. That's when I realized you were a keeper. My brain, for half a second, was like, what's a keeper? Like, that's a title for you? That's a thing you are? No. A keeper, like a relationship prospect you stay with. My whole brain going, this is a new terminology introduced in the 11th hour, because of course it is.
Yeah.
Now we're going, you are also, Corazon, are a keeper. Let's find out not really what that is.
Right.
Okay, relationship.
Yes.
That's when I realized you were a keeper.
I do not understand the
You
usage
make
of this
your
colloquialism.
choices, dear, really quickly. But this one's way better. I made it with so much more knowledge.
Like, actually...
You made it back then!
I have to say, based on, like, Corazon, they really would have had to have so much go on in that month. Because I think part of actually finding out that Nadia really just looked at Lucio and was like, I will do this thing and I'm an excellent reader of character. I think Corazon honestly would take a step back.
It would be like,
and like
that
was a part of the, wow, you're asking me to marry you real fast.
Also and now I'm asserting that I decided I wanted to stay with you, i.e. marry you, that very first night. This time I've done it correctly. No? Sounds like you were just as impulsive, dear. Actually.
We've come full circle.
We
have returned back to square one.
Dear, it sounds as if you haven't changed.
Just so you know.
A keeper.
A keeper?
Before I even remembered what you'd already done for me.
But, like, do dreams manifest the same? I'm sorry, it's okay.
I assume, without knowing for sure and never checking in, that it was you, in my experience, locked in the realm of the Arcana. When I saw a vision that was like you.
Do you know what kind of kills me about that, though? Because in the way of, like, that you can basically drag other people through your mind, I always thought it was interesting in stories. So you actually see it in The Cell. So it's a movie.
I know The Cell, actually.
And where you basically started, like, the concept that you could adapt basically another person to basically your will / your dream, your reality. So what if we literally just followed Nadia's plot?
Yes.
Like, that's a dream that she was having.
It's a thing
or that she had and goes, you are a part of this, and you basically fall in because you've fallen for the dream.
That's also the only place you can fit in. But it's the same sort of thing of, like, the devil shaping your emotional experience when you're in his realm. And you don't realize, I'm feeling frightened because you say so. You're just creeping around feeling frightened.
Yes.
And then at some point you go, I don't need to feel frightened. And he's like, no, be scared. And you're like,
then you realize, going, hang on.
Scared. Hang on.
Which, I mean, if you're going to talk about, like, a theme of kind of going into things and having your will sort of fucked around with, especially for somebody who's only been alive for 3 years and doesn't have a lot to back them up, you could actually say, and I'm sorry, I like theory crafting on this sort of angst level, that basically Nadia made your MC, basically the character here, fit her basically dream. So you go, this is my false, basically, memory. Because remember how you and I were surprised about this, going like, what the fuck is going on? It didn't exist until Nadia basically, like, you actually fell into it and then you were integrated into Nadia.
Yeah, okay, so there's this thing that happens to me. Like, I feel like that's a little hard to understand without, 1, the hand gestures, and 2, a little more context.
Sorry!
So I was just say, no, I think you have a really good point. Let me just see if I can help you.
Go ahead.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, it's a little like that thing that happens to me occasionally where I'll be in a dream, and I'll remember having had another dream that relates to this one. But when I wake up, I know that memory was also part of the dream, not something that actually happened.
Yes.
And so it's sort of like in there of her going, my memory came back. It's like, no, you actually forged that memory right now as if it were a thing in the past.
Yes.
Got it. Excellent. Good.
Yeah, and so your character going into her dream was put under the influence, like the realm of the Arcana, it will influence you to have emotions and memories and things, or even take things away from you.
Yep. And
she's so powerful because her mark is particularly on her forehead. Yeah. So I always thought that could be interesting character-wise.
It's the third eye thing.
Yeah, it's the third eye thing. So she could literally force basically her sight on you. So what she wants to see is what her reality becomes. Anyway.
I showed up in the middle of the night. You could have turned me away. You didn't need to help me. You didn't have to help me? Need to help me suggests that it would do something for Cora Sahone.
Yeah, actually.
Actually, so there's a difference between have to and need to in this case.
Yes.
And I understand that some people can sort of use need that way, but I feel like in this sentence structure, it doesn't work. Because that would suggest that there's something that Corazon would require to get out of it in some potential reality, and in this case going, but you didn't need anything, you just helped me anyways, as opposed to once.
Do you know what I also think is interesting? And this is actually directly contradictory to what she just said. So it's that you did all of this for me, so it was going to happen. You didn't need to do that. You could have just turned me away, which actually, to me, implies that there's something broken here anyway. Because to me, that's just a contradiction.
You didn't need to help me.
Yeah.
But somehow, I trusted you anyways.
I trusted you two anyways.
All right. You didn't need to help me, but I trusted you two anyways. And you did. I came to you, of all people, since I never go to anyone ever about anything. Of all people that I've ever gone to, which is no one, I came to you.
To you.
I assume you maybe tried to go and get Solace and Lucio once or twice, and that's part of how things went real bad, where he was like,
I still don't know what
you're irritating me while I'm petting my dogs.
Yeah, right. She takes my hand, caressing it gently.
I know I keep saying it, but it truly feels like I have not said thank you enough for what you have done.
Hang on.
You've reconnected me with my family.
So if we hadn't done the premium scene on the bridge, would this have gone the same way? Hang on.
So, you know how when they do the premium scenes, they usually do a really short or truncated version of it if you don't take it?
Right.
They do a simplified version.
Yeah.
In a lot of them, not all of them. So of the premium scenes we've seen, and when we checked to find out where they ended so we could, be compliant with Nix Hydra.
Right.
There's a lot of them where if you don't choose it, a basically shorter, less romantic or less revealing thing happens.
Right.
So I think they're trying in those cases, and they don't always succeed, obviously, to write in the bit of plot that's going to be important to be used later. So who knows what that scene is like, but I wonder if you still do, like, I promise I will always help you, and then it ends there without smooching and, you know, feeling up.
Interesting.
All right, but that is a good question. I kind of like that. I've also, like, we've heard before that some people have said that in various different routes, notably Asra's, according to one reviewer.
At least the big complaint that we saw was
that if you don't buy the premium scenes, you get very little relationship building, and you get very little knowledge of the person themselves.
So for them, the romance, basically, as it were, didn't really exist. And so it felt very awkward and strange to suddenly have Asra, as we assume, confess and be very like, oh, I love you and all these things, and you're like, whoa, I couldn't afford any of these things that you're talking about.
So none of them happened.
So what are you talking about? Yeah.
What you've done. What we've done. Oh, God.
I mean, Corazonic is like, I've done this with you. So, like, I'm back going, like, I need to thank you too is ridiculous, but what we've done.
Yeah, it's going, Nadia, you're very bad at crediting yourself.
I came here for you.
To work with you. That was the whole purpose of the story.
Jesus Christ, what we've done.
Corazon, what we've done.
What you have directed me to do. Except that
what
now
I have done at your direction, as you have sent me forth as a spear to exact your will.
Yeah, and honestly, in a lot of cases, you haven't. Sad. What we've done. I couldn't have done any of it without you.
True, because you'd have never been in the palace.
And I would have never had the legal authority, nor basically the power in many cases.
You also would have never been able to get to the realms of the Arcana, because Asra's not helping you get there on your own.
Sigh. We're a team now, Nadia. And we always will be.
And based on your proposal, we always will be.
You're stuck with me. As long as you don't fucking disappoint me. Nadia laughs and affectionately brushes an eyelash off my cheek because I can see it on my... I'm sorry. I cannot tell you how many times I haven't seen them. Like, you usually can't, but that's okay. Brushes an eyelash off my cheek.
How close together are... Also, it's dim. It's dim as fuck.
It's really dim.
It's dim.
Also like, dark skin.
Okay, so my friend has glasses.
Yes.
And I've had a couple of other friends with glasses. And I'm going to tell you that the most common thing that I notice is an eyelash stuck with
to the glasses.
Static electricity to the glasses. And you go, you've got an eyelash on your glasses.
And you go, what? Because you can't, I can't see it.
And then they pull it away and they kind of squint at it and put it over a light surface and go,
Yeah.
Or it's just they grab it and clean it with the cloth that they're supposed to be using. Not your shirt. Always the shirt. Everyone that does their shirt. Okay, there was this wonderful comic. Okay, I'm just going to... Short segue. For anyone who doesn't know what The Far Side is, I'm sorry.
The Far Side comic.
It's literally just Gary Larson.
Gary Larson, yeah.
Anyway, you can look up The Far Side, Gary Larson. There's this one that's really, really charming, where it's like, you know, it's just that hands you the glasses, and I hope it's by him. I'm like, my brain going, shit, what if it was some other comic artist?
It's okay.
I'm pretty sure this was by him. Anyways, we're going, here's your new glasses, and here's a nice little cloth to clean them with, and in case you can't get, you know, basically can't break old habits, we offer a lovely shirt made out of these little cloths that you can also buy and wear. And it's got this little patchwork of everything, little wiping cloths.
Yes! I don't know if I've actually ever seen that.
I love it.
I'm going to have to go look it up.
Yes.
So, an eyelash off my cheek.
Oh no. Whatever shall I do? Stuck with you forever. I'll have to figure out a way to spend my time.
Yeah, don't disappoint me.
I won't in bed. Oh. Sorry, I just went fortune cookie with that
I mean,
one.
it's true, though.
Trapped in a marriage full of love with someone I deeply care for and respect? That doesn't sound very disappointing.
Also, why would you still call it trap? I know it's supposed to be ironic.
Yes.
I just sometimes, like, I'm so afraid of heterosexual culture in that way.
It's true.
Because so many people go, God, I'm trapped in this horrible marriage. And you're like, oh, God, this is leading up to...
no, trapped, and they make light of it, but they're actually deeply unhappy.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. Oh, look at that. The
owl.
Pretty. Look at that. You can actually see, like, is that supposed to be more castle or city?
No, that's supposed to be a city. I can see all of Vesuvia behind Nadia.
Fucking hell.
Ready and waiting.
That means we are way up on a hill, because if this is down at the base of the castle on their bridge, and you can see the city down there, Yeah, the castle's above everything.
Wow,
That's really pretty.
That is really pretty.
I had no idea the whole thing was made out of towers like the castle.
That would be wild.
Because the marketplace doesn't give that impression.
Not even
Nor do
slightly.
the alleys.
Nope.
And the canals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really pretty.
That's really pretty. I love it.
I mean, I've liked quite a bit of the premium art in here, but this was actually really surprising because I was not expecting it.
I wasn't either.
But I forgot about the one with Julian too, so hippity-bit.
Yeah.
Ready and waiting. Chandra emerges from the window at the contemplation tower, chirping cheerfully as she flies in circles above our heads, because she's clearly a dove? A parrot, I don't know.
Privy to this experience, she chirps.
Yes. Nadia holds a hand out to me.
The little sort of like beckon with the finger is very cute.
It is very cute.
Are you ready for our next adventure together? Which I assume, if I'm beckoning you this direction, is over the edge into the moat. Hang on!
Into the vampire eels! Here we go!
Nadia leans back. One of the things we've corrected, of course, is the quality of the moats and the water edge. You know, the vampire eels are gone. She just leans back on the railing and gestures you over. Are you ready for our next adventure?
What if some, like, eccentric, like person, though, would come along and go, you can't kill the vampire eels, they're there!
Right, and they have to relocate them in a naturalistic kind of way. Very careful. Animal conservation, I love it. And then she's just like, our next adventure. What do you think of skinny dipping now? It's dark out. Because she asked you to do it.
It had nothing to do with the dark.
I was going to say, because it was light in the realm of the Arcana, so I assume that's the problem. At least we're not inside someone's house this time.
Or body.
Or their body.
Or conscious. Why do you not understand personal space?
You are in their mind. Do you want to get naked in someone else's mind? No.
Do you want to get naked in someone else's mind horse?
Yes. Let's get naked and ride their mind horse.
Yeah. Next adventure together. I nod, reaching out and taking her hand.
And we dive over the edge together. Whee!
I know deep in my bones, that kind of hurt, that this isn't the ending of our story. It's the beginning. And I can't wait to see what this world has in store for us next.
I'm ready to spend my entire life with you. I'm aware that standing on this bridge tonight isn't the end of my story. I hope you're not both going to die right now.
Yes.
Or,
it's fine.
You know, being married is the end of your story.
Some people really think that.
They seem to.
There is, I think, some level of that. Like, especially that you're having to assert, no, being married doesn't mean it's the end. It means it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Except that your story is ending right here, so after a fashion, it's actually just telling you, it's a ludonarrative dissonance. The plot is actually ending here. So that actually means that your life is literally ending because the story ends.
Also, though, I'm going, it's that thing where at the end of, some charming novel for children, it goes, and they had many, many more adventures and learned many, many more things. But that is a tale for another time!
Yes, it's Storm was next.
That's what it is!
Yeah! The end! I called it, and I was
You did it. I say, and that is a story for another day!
Woo!
Oh, credits?
Oh, the credits.
I don't remember if we had credits on Julian's. I'm sure we did.
Oh.
Cynthia Wool. But I don't remember, actually, maybe. Writing and narrative design. Oh, there's a lot of people writing and narrative design. And a bigger team. Oh, there's 5 people in the art? Wow. I was under the additional tarot art. Ooh. I love some of the names in here. They're really wonderful.
Yes, because Kevin MacLeod has basically scored the entire universe.
Yes, Kevin MacLeod, because, his music is free.
Yes.
He makes beautiful stuff, though.
He really does.
He's a really good guy.
I used to actually turn on playlists of his stuff and just sit there and study.
Mr. Stipple or whatever, the one that makes the free colors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so,
there we go, guys. That was... Nadia's book thingy.
I guess that was Nadia's route.
Yes, there we are, Nadia's route. Then we can just head back home and see everybody here. Now we have done 2 out of 6. Do you feel more done than before? Okay, everybody.
Okay, so next time...
So next week, since this is going up on a Sunday,
that depends. We have to actually confirm whether or not we have art that we need for it or not, because I don't know.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
I would say next week we should be starting Asra's story.
Yes!
So if you've made it this far and you've enjoyed this playthrough and you'd like to see us romance our actual mentor,
Yes.
Which we've got a whole new apprentice for.
Yep.
And they are adorable.
And we are very excited to debut them.
And we also have a guest artist that is going to be doing cover-up art.
Yes.
Which we're very excited about.
Yes. It's going to be Draconisha from, they've actually helped us a lot. Actually, we've had several different conversations. They actually did the art comic that we did with Nerd and Julian, which was great fun.
Yes.
We got to voice act on the channel. So if you haven't seen that, please go check that out.
So we will be linking to them in that new playthrough, and also this was fascinating and interesting and fiery and confusing and all of those things, but I'm glad to have a better picture of Nadia than just what I've vaguely encountered with fandom.
Yes.
And again, I'm not out there trying to find spoilers or delving into things because I don't know the story yet, but things do, sort of crop up or come across in, comments or the dash or things, and it's nice to have more of an idea of who she is. And I like
it's also like because
Google
likes to collect your information and sell it everywhere, you inevitably end up getting I've gotten thrown stuff that I read a thing and I liked it, but I didn't realize it was connected to something else, and suddenly I'm getting like 900 spoilers for something I have no idea about.
Yep, I love that one, where somebody's got quotes with, screen caps, and I don't know the series at all. But
and I'm like, that sounds hilarious!
But the quotes are really great, and then suddenly I'm getting content. I'm like, what is this?
So, anyway, gosh, I have to say, for Julian and Nadia's route, honestly, since I don't like putting them both together, I don't know necessarily if I understand a lot more. I think I just got more confused.
Okay, so part of me wants to be like, okay, but imagine if Julian had basically the same experience, except instead of dating the apprentice, it was somebody else that ran around with him doing, shenanigans.
Right.
So you have this parallel, universe where everything still happens, but it happens with a different person. So there's, a love interest for each of them that can have one in all of the routes. You just don't see them because you're focused on this one.
Yes.
And I'd be very entertained by that.
Anyway.
Julian swinging in and you don't even notice the other person that's just quietly there as his partner because they're not important.
Right, because, I'm sorry, you're not supposed to be here. Huh?
Hi. Huh? What?
Which would make sense for Corazon going,
I would not even care.
I step over you.
Yeah, bye.
You're too short anyway.
Everybody's tiny, it's fine. At any rate, this has been a cool experience. Thank you for your support and for your comments and your interaction and your thoughts.
And thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you want to support us, please feel free to like, comment, interact with the video, please. It actually does a lot for us. In regards to the YouTube algorithm. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. We have some links in the description down below. We would love to see you at those locations, if at all possible. And I'm in Scandal.
Twitch is a great location because then we can discuss theories live and stuff, and that's sort of fun.
Yes.
Also on Patreon, occasionally we put up like stories and drama and stuff. It's very sparse, but it is there.
Yeah.
And it's all free if you want to just look at it. Like,
yes.
nothing is actually locked off.
Nah.
It's just voluntary sponsoring if interested. And I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!